issue.
Okay, and we can both talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking that too.
College is hard!
College is hard.
What is up, guys? It is Tony, and it has been such a long time since I've actually sat down and done one of these videos, but I'm here with a really good friend of mine, Carly. This video is going to be about what we learned in 2017, because it is a new year, and we also recently both turned 19, so at the same time, I feel like it's really appropriate doing this video now because last year was our first year of being adults. I'd say 2017 was like a really interesting, crazy year.
For both of us.
For both of us, yeah. And that's another reason why I asked her to do this with me, was because even though we went through different things in their own respect, they had a lot of similar aspects.
Yeah.
And I think through that we both gained similar strengths. And that's really cool.
And it like strengthened our friendship, I think.
Oh
so
yeah, definitely. And it was nice to like be able to like turn to someone and kind of share a struggle and be like, you know, what did you do when you went through this? So,
For sure.
Alright, do you want to start?
Sure. Okay. So, my first one is to speak my mind more. That's what I learned, is how to like stand up for myself. I'm like a super vocal and I feel like I'm really confident, so you wouldn't think that that would be one that would like be hard for me. I have this problem where I like to just like let people walk all over me, and I never really realized it until I started going to college and realized that I would just like let people do things even if it hurt me. I need to stand up for myself and be like, hey, like, I love you, but this isn't okay with me. And I think that's something that's like really important to learn.
So, in February of, no, it was in March of 2017, I got rejected from film school, and, you know, it was heartbreaking. Thank God that it wasn't as difficult as I thought it was gonna be, and so I was able to cope with it a little bit easier, but, it was still hard because it was something that I had been working on for such a long time, and it's something that I'm so passionate about, but it taught me not to give up, and it taught me to keep going. Right now I may be at a school that I may not necessarily want to be at, but I have to remind myself that it's temporary. I'm gonna get out of there eventually.
Yeah.
As long as
happens for a reason.
Right, exactly. And I know I'm gonna get out of there if I just keep my head up and keep pushing through like all of these obstacles, because I know it's shaping me into the person that I'm supposed to be. So just kind of feel like, alright, this is where I'm at now, but it's not where I'm gonna be in the future.
Definitely. Rejection's really important just because it teaches you that, I mean, it teaches you how to cope with things, and it teaches you that like you're not always gonna get what you hoped like right in that moment. But I feel like if you get into film school, you know, in a like next year or the year after, like that's gonna be even more rewarding because you're I worked even harder for this because it's my second time, you know what I mean?
I agree.
I think that's really important to just like feel confident in yourself and stuff. Okay, my next one's like super cheesy, but whatever. So I recently like went away to college pretty far away from my home, so I was struggling a lot, just wanting to be home and wanting to be around my old friends and wanting to be like in a place that I was comfortable. And so I think I really realized that you have to like make your own home like in the circumstances that you're in, you know, whether that be yourself or like your little dorm room, whatever. Like you have to make that your home. Your home can't be a physical place. It can't be, you know, I mean, you can have people that support you and care for you, but you can't rely so much on specific things or people that when you leave them, you don't know what to do.
And I think that kind of ties into what my next one was, is that you can't allow any one person to be your everything. You know, like someone else is not supposed to complete you, they're supposed to complement you. And, you know, you have to be your own flame, because if you allow someone else to be that, you know, that fire is going to go out and you're going to be left with nothing. And you're going to have to start from scratch, and that is probably one of the hardest things to do. And so with that being said, you know, you just have to make sure that you fuel yourself enough to where you feel your worth. Because trust me, sometimes there's going to be moments where you feel like you don't have anything to offer. And that may be because of other circumstances, or it may be because of what I said, because you allowed someone to be your everything. But the truth is that no one is your everything. You're your everything. You have to build yourself up enough to be enough for you, because if you're not enough for yourself, then you can't be enough for someone else.
I don't know about you, but when I'm in a relationship, like I feel so confident, like I love myself. I'm like, oh, I look so good today. Like I'm so great, you know, because you have this person telling you like, I love you, you're beautiful, you're this. And it's like, this is so cheesy, but like that's what you need to be telling yourself every day, so that like, because then you get out of a relationship and you're like, oh, I hate myself. And it's like, why do you need that other person to tell you that? Like, you have yourself, you have, you know, the people who love you, your friends, your family, like they're telling you that, but you don't take it in the same way. You're like, oh, thanks, like I'm pretty, or oh, you love me. But it's like, they mean it like probably more than that dumb person you dated did. Like, you just need to, and they all tie in together, like the making your own self your home and all that stuff. It's just like you need to be happy enough with yourself that you can find that on your own without someone else. And then if you find someone else that like makes you feel even better, like that's great, but you shouldn't rely on that person, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Alright, so my last one is, it's really, really easy to find people that aren't like you. And for me, that was really hard because I went to school and I was like so excited, and going there I realized that it was not, people didn't necessarily act the way that I'd hoped. I started to think of it as a negative thing, and so I think what I learned in 2017 is rather than looking at people like how they're different from you and being like, oh, well, they're not what I thought, or they're not like my other friends, like think of it as a positive thing, like they can teach you so much, or they can help grow you as a person. And again, I'm still like working on that because it's tough to try to make friends with people who are so different from you, but it can like bring you so much joy and help you learn so much too.
This is another big one for me. I had to learn to forgive people and kind of let go of that anger. I had multiple people in 2017, multiple friends hurt me, and it was like I was so full of anger and it was so difficult to let go, and anytime I even thought about that person or these people, I just felt it like build up inside of me. And like I would have conversations about this with my mom, and she'd be like, oh, like you just need to let go, like just let it go, let it be. But it's not a switch. Like you can't just flip it off. You can't turn it off. It's more of a decision. That's what I've learned. And at the very beginning, it was a decision that went on from minute to minute. Every time that I remembered about one of those things, I had to tell myself, all right, just let it go and move on. So it's definitely not a switch, but it's a constant decision. And the more that you make it, you're gonna find that there's more space between each time that you have to tell yourself to forgive that person. And eventually it'll be so few and far between that you might even forget about it, and it's gonna get a lot easier. Alright, this last one, this is the last heavy hitter, and then we're gonna end it off with a couple lighter ones that we both learned. But the truth is that depression is not something to be ashamed of. It's really not.
I think for me, we both struggle with depression and anxiety and stuff like that. There's an imbalance, like I don't think, you know, so I'm really open about it, but I just think that like, for me, again, going away to college really like opened up a lot of doors, and I think my whole life, it was really hard for me to deal with it, and hard for my family, and my family was so like loving and supportive, but there were times when I would try to like express it and my family would be like, Carly, like, and this isn't like their fault, but they would be like, Carly, like you need to, you know, like get over it, do this, and I'm like, I can't, and that's when I realized like this is real, like this isn't something that I'm like thinking I'm over exaggerating, you know, like it's really real.
And one of the reasons that I feel like we're both so open about it is because even though it affects us greatly sometimes, it doesn't define us. It does not define who we are as a person. It's just a little something extra that we have to deal with.
A little extra.
Yeah.
Something for all you out there.
Little sprinkles on the top. I'm grateful about the fact that through dealing with this, it gives me almost like a heightened sense of empathy towards people who are feeling like down or struggling with things, because we've both been there, and like you said, you've struggled with it since you were little. I only recently started struggling it within like the past couple of years. And it runs in my family, but you know, it's the weirdest thing, it doesn't seem to heighten up until like junior or senior year of high school, and that's when it started for me.
But that's the thing too, is it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why it's even more confusing, because you're like, well, is this even depression? And it's like, yes, like you're valid, you know?
Yeah.
Like Tony and I, like what you went through, even though it's only 2 years, like is just as valid as what I went through, even though it's been longer. You know what I mean? It's just like different, and I think that's why it's hard for people to accept it too, because it shows itself so differently.
Yeah.
Like it's so legitimate, and like everything's gonna be okay. I promise.
Yeah. You know, with depression, a lot of times you pretty much feel worthless. You feel like you have nothing to offer, but the truth is you do, and you have to find those things that fuel you. Like for you and me, filmmaking, because we're both going to school for that. But like other things, like we both love music, we both love the arts, and we love being creative and creating, and through that, you know, it kind of fuels me, and I'm like, all right, like I can do this, like I have something to put into this world, and that's crucial when you're dealing with something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a heavy hitter. Now do you want to go with
Sorry, yeah.
a light random one?
I feel like it's so cheesy, everything I'm saying, but like it's so true, you know?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know, and like maybe somebody needs to hear this. So my last one, this is like literally so. This is like literally so. But my last one, okay, my last one, which is supposed to be happy, is that like you are so loved, and that is so like cliche, but I love Tony, and Tony loves me, and like
I'm just kidding.
and like you have your family and you have your friends, and like I went to college and my roommate was like immediately 100% there for me, and there are people that love you, and like you are so loved even if you don't feel like it. Like there were days when I didn't want to get out of bed and my roommate is like, get out of bed, like we're going to do this, and I'm like, okay. I just want you to know that like you are so loved, and that's so stupid
Yeah.
to say, but it's so true, and like even the smallest people like want to love you, and like you're just never not loved. I want you to know that.
Mine was like really random, so it wasn't like that.
Alright, let's
but,
hear it.
One thing I learned in 2017 was that I've been buying the wrong size of pants since sophomore year of high school.
What the hell does that mean?
I would buy pants, and I always had to wear a belt, and I'm like, what's going on? They're always falling, and it never occurred to me that I was just buying them too big. I was buying them like 2 sizes too big.
Alright guys, well if you have any extra money, please buy Tony some pants. Hashtag pants for Tony 2K18. Tony needs some pants.
Yeah.
Can we ring a bell right now?
Yeah.
Guys wear belts.
These
though.
are the right size. Because I got them
Good
this
to
year.
know.
2018, I'm already putting my things into practice.
New
Alright.
Year's resolution, buy the right size pants.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for doing this video with me, Carly.
You're welcome.
I wish you luck at school. I'm gonna miss you.
Thanks.
But I'll see you soon.
I know.
And I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching.
See ya!
I was like, woo! I was like,